Let's move on to Texas A&M hosting LSU. Down at halftime by 10. Your offense is stagnant. Of course, the talking point right now is Marcel Reed comes in the football game. A&M runs the ball 25 times and ends up winning by 15 and scores 31 points. They scored on 5 straight possessions with Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed scored 3 rushing touchdowns, had a really nice throw on that long completed pass, outscored LSU 31-6. Defensively, they forced 3 interceptions on Garrett Nussmeier. BJ Mays comes to the game at slot, gets majority of the snaps, and absolutely balls out. And then you also had 2 sacks on an LSU team which hadn't seen a sack since the South Carolina game all the way back in week 3. And Nick Gordon might be the do I say that he's the best defensive player in college football right now? Is that crazy? One of them.
Oh yeah, he absolutely is. He has been awesome, and it's not just rushing the pass like you said. He had that half a sack there, but it's also just in the run game and what he brings to you, in the physicality he brings, and yeah, he is incredible. It was good to see him looking pretty healthy because I know that was a concern as of late. This is a huge win for Texas A&M. The program, the fan base, the coaching staff there, the players. It was awesome. I know you said there were a ton of recruits there. So outside of just 2024, it's big for 2025 and beyond, especially that 2026 class. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier in the preview. We are like, who has the quarterback edge? Is it Nussmeier? Is it Wigman? And excuse me, neither of them were very good, especially in that second half. Nussmeier made some bad throws. He was being pressured, and so you got to give that defensive line and that defensive staff a lot of credit as a whole there to be able to kind of force the issue there for Nussmeier. And once you do press him, you do make him, make some big time bad throws. You capitalize on him, and they scored touchdowns, and they turned those into big time points. That was the difference in this football game. You stopped the run. You made Nuss throw the ball 50 times. He had the 3 interceptions, like you said. And outside of the one long catch and run there at the end of the first half, I think it was for Aaron Anderson, I wasn't crazy impressed with LSU's offense. And I know they moved the ball well in that first half a little bit, but yeah, I give A&M a ton of credit for getting up off the mat and really dominating that second half. As for Marcel Reed, I want to pump the brakes a little bit. I was impressed with him. He came off the bench and he provided a spark through the ground with his legs. And also that, obviously, that big throw, like you said, to Noah Thomas. But it was the defense that changed the outcome of this game. And he was just in there to capitalize from it. And now does Wigman capitalize from it? The way he was playing, probably not. And so maybe you don't quite have the margin of victory that you do have right now, but it's awesome. Daniels ran the ball well. Moss ran the ball well. Marcel Reed got his thing. It was good stuff from A&M. And if you're LSU, regret and frustration because you had a chance to take over that game in that first half and you didn't. And you let them in it. And the bad interception turned into points for A&M. And then all of a sudden Kyle Field started really rocking. And then from there on, it was rough sledding.
Yeah, it's I'm with you on the Marcel Reed pump the brakes thing. I think ceiling of this team. If you want to win a national championship, I think you would do it with Connor Wigman. Unfortunately, like your wide receivers aren't getting separation, and Connor Wigman also has missed throws. So if you're going to change the identity of this football team, and twice now they've run the ball for over 49 times in a game, and before that they hadn't done that since 2022 when they beat LSU at home in a top 5 win when they had A-Chain there at running back. If you're going to run the ball 40 to 50 times a game, all right, I do agree with the fact that, yeah, you probably should have Marcel Reed back there. Like, if that is your game plan, if that is your identity, maybe it is that Connor Wigman isn't conducive to this system, right? And what, or at least what A&M does well, which is being incredibly physical, right? Milking that clock, keeping the defense off the field. But then, the defense just played so well, and it's played so well. They're one of the few teams in college football that hasn't given up more than 25 points all season. They're getting pressure on the quarterback at will. The linebacker play has improved vastly from what we saw at the beginning. Torian York looked like a lost kid out there early in the season. He had a great game. All right, not even including the interception. He had a great game. Scooby Williams has looked awesome. Damian Sanford looked really good. But I am still concerned about some things offensively. I think South Carolina is a team that has a ridiculous front seven. If you turn around and I'm not sure if Texas A&M can win the SEC. I think they can, right? But I think I'm going to learn a lot more this weekend. And I know we're already 9 weeks in the season, about to be 10. If they turn around after that big win at home and go on the road and run the ball down the throats of South Carolina and win that game handedly, Texas A&M, I will be able to say with confidence that they can definitely win the SEC. Because you're playing a team like Texas that struggled with physicality against Georgia. Your only issue, like
Carson Beck's prone to turnovers too, by the way.
Carson Beck is prone to turnovers.
Which is crazy. We're getting ahead of ourselves here.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I do want to pump the
A&M,
brakes here.
If they do stick to that identity that they've kind of found themselves in, I would anticipate them going with Marcel Reed at quarterback. Although I think Connor Wigman might be more conducive. He's better under pressure. Marcel Reed, when he played in the games and he was under pressure, he was not very good. Quite frankly, he was pretty terrible with his arm. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes moving forward. It's going to be a big game against South Carolina. I think they're only 3.5-point favorites, which I get completely. I understand completely.
I do want to pivot back to LSU here because I know the tiebreaker system, it's going to be weird, and I think it's going to clear up because you've got some teams ahead of them, playing each other. I think Georgia plays Tennessee, A&M plays Texas. I know Georgia has a tiebreaker over Texas already. So you're going to have a couple of 2-loss teams probably emerge within that group. If you're A&M, right, if you're LSU, I still think a playoff appearance is not crazy. I do know it was really frustrating to see what happened, but you get a bye week, and then you get a couple chances to boost your resume with Alabama, with Florida on the road, and maybe a team in Oklahoma that's playing better football. And also Vanderbilt. Like, damn it, man, that could be a, quote unquote resume booster. It's not just an auto win like it has been in the past there. For LSU, it's frustrating, but you got to figure out how to run the football. You have to, because throwing the ball 50 times a game, like, you're going to end up in situations like you did yesterday or a couple days ago, where, yes, you're throwing the ball well and Nussmeier is hitting big shots down the field, but the consistency is not there. And you have turnover prone quarterback and play style. That's not ideal. And with your defense, and I know it played really well in that first half, and I know it's played really well as opposed to what we thought it would be this season, but they still need help. They still can't be dealing with short fields, because you get them in short fields, that's not what they're built to like just go up and shut you down, right? They're built bend but don't break, attack the quarterback, and make some opportunistic plays there defensively. And that can't happen if you've got 20 yards to go, if they're starting the possession in your own red zone. So, yeah, that's the guy for LSU here. It's a big one for A&M. Big win for A&M. I took LSU. I was pleasantly surprised.
Me too.
At halftime, I was like, listen, this is still a ball game, but things have to dramatically change for A&M, and they did.
For LSU moving forward, they don't play a lot of teams left on their schedule that are really good at running the football. In fact, there are not a lot of teams that run the ball like Texas A&M does, but Alabama, Florida on the road, that's going to be a tough game, by the way. I might be picking Florida in that game. Vanderbilt, who has run the ball well at times, it's a matter of them sticking to it, right? And then Oklahoma has not run the ball very well at all this season. So
done much. Done much well.
Yeah, exactly. So interesting outlook for LSU here. Still a lot ahead of them on the schedule, right? If they win out, I don't know what the tiebreakers look like. They obviously wouldn't have it over Texas A&M, but yeah.